Let's do it.
My name's Alex, by the way, Scott. Thank you so much for doing this. It's great to talk to you.
Okay, mate.
I saw the film. I watched it the other night actually, and I loved it. I just think it was such a such a different take and like a real ode to kind of 80s and 90s games and movies and stuff. I really liked it. How did you get involved with it in the first place?
It just came out of the blue, to be honest, but I'd already done a few roles that were leaning a bit more into the comedy. So it was something I was looking for, something a bit more comedic, whatever that may be. And then it came up from sort of left field out of the blue, getting towards Christmas, and the timing was right. And we said, yeah, let's have a go. Obviously, I liked the script, and then I spoke to the director, Martin, and got along with him and enjoyed what he had to say about how he was going to approach the film. And it was just the right timing, really.
Yeah. So it's I was going to say, because it's interesting, because a lot of your films, or a lot of the audience who watch your films, you have done a real mix of stuff, but like they might be more used to seeing you in like more serious stuff. Do you think is it a way that did you enjoy doing something different? Is that like a way you wanted to go, or like just something you wanted to experiment with?
Yeah, for sure. Just wanted to try something different. See how it goes. I don't know. We'll see what the response is and all the rest of it. But I don't mind trying different things sometimes, whether it be, an accent, whether it be a type of movie, whether it be something like Avengement, where I play a character who's completely scarred and disfigured. I don't mind doing different things. It keeps it interesting for me. You don't want to keep rehashing the same stuff. And also, if you just keep doing the same thing, how are you going to grow as an actor or a filmmaker or anything like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's funny because I watched Incoming quite recently, and I think it's weird because like Max Cloud and Incoming have got quite a lot in common, because like they're both kind of end up with people being on a prison, like stuck on a prison planet as well. But also even just the characters, they're both films where the characters are way more complex than you think. Because like with Incoming, you really think this guy's like the hero, and in fact, it turns out, spoilers, but like it's totally not how that character is at all. And I kind of thought it's like, I don't know, I thought it was really like there's a really good connection with those two. And also, it made me kind of, do you think that modern audiences, like the days of Arnie and Sly just playing these two-dimensional characters, do you think audiences like crave a bit more depth with their action heroes these days?
The funny thing about Incoming is they wanted me to play the hero. And I said, no, I think I'd rather play that character because he seems more interesting to me. So even though the financing probably was more on my shoulders, they were said, well, play the villain then.
Yeah.
But we'll still sell it as a Scott Adkins movie, which, I was in it enough to do that. But with Max Cloud, it was like we're making fun of that sort of action hero character. And one of the first conversations I had with the director of Max Cloud, Martin, was, you're going to be okay sort of making fun of yourself and sending yourself up. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the fun of it, was to take those cliche action hero tropes, and whereas in another movie you're trying to avoid them and not do the cliche thing. In Max Cloud, we wanted to find those cliche things and send them up, because he's a cliched American action hero, and all the rest of it.
I think the decision on Incoming, I think that was the right way to go, because I think that film, I didn't see the twist in that coming at all. I kind of was like blindsided me how your character changed. So I think that's like well done for. Like a lot of people wouldn't have gone there and thought, oh, I could do, like it would work. I think it worked even better, the fact that you were like the villain in the end. But yeah, with Max Cloud, like you say, it's a parody. Was there anyone, like when you were doing that role, did you take kind of inspiration from like any films, or was it just like an amalgamation of just like you say, like all the biggest, like the big 80s, like 90s action heroes?
Buzz Lightyear came up a lot from the director. Yeah, I mean lines like fear is not near, Max Cloud is here. I mean, that's just Buzz Lightyear, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
now you say
you can't deliver that and not think of old Buzz. But I think, I mean, for me, I just felt that Ron Burgundy was the inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he is like Ron Burgundy in space. You're right. I never thought of that. That's a great.
He thinks he's amazing. He's full of himself. You know, he's like, I'm the best, and you follow me, and everything's going to be fine. He doesn't realize that he's a complete dick.
Yeah, it really works, especially because you've got like that ensemble cast, so you've got everyone playing off each other. It really works like really well with that, and I think you played it really well because it's just a funny character. Like you just laugh at him, you know. But like I thought the action, I was thinking, oh, maybe because you've dialed up the comedy, the action would be dialed down. But there's some really good fight scenes, and like there's some good little there's some really good moments in there as well. I think it delivers on that.
If I had it my way, the action, we would have had even more action. But that's
really
just me. Well, that's the way my brain always works. I can't help myself. I'm an action junkie, but
I love the way as well with the fighting, that the style of fighting is so like a computer game, like your stances and just your moves and everything. Was that like, how did the choreographer come up with that, or how did you work that kind of computer game moves into the film?
Yeah, Andy Long was the fight coordinator, and he's very experienced. He's young, but he's really good, and I've worked with him, fighting him as a performer, but he's been part of the Jackie Chan stunt team, and he's really good, and he's going to be someone to look out for. So in terms of choreographing the stuff, I didn't need to get involved. I was completely comfortable to let Andy do his thing, as I trust him. So I was able to just think about the character. So Andy was having those conversations with Martin about, for this one, let's make it Street Fighter inspired.
Yeah.
And then let's for this one, let's make it like that side scrolling thing.
Yeah.
And then the action sequence in the middle, which is completely different. It's like a one take thing, but a different style, but it still feels like it could be in a computer game, because of the way it's shot.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I love that.
They did a good job.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also like the kind of jokes where you've got like the gamer logic as well, when you're fighting that huge guy with the axe and you just crouch down behind this tiny little thing, like that kind of good. It rings really true, because it's obviously made by people that are like, the directors have got a real passion for games. It's not like a cash in. They're really getting that love is kind of coming through in the film, I think. Like
yeah. And Andy was a big gamer as well. So he appreciates it, and I was back in the day. So when he's walking into the wall because he's gone to the bathroom, things like that.
I was going to say, because it's set in the 90s. Was that like, are you still a gamer now, or was that your prime gaming time?
I just can't. I can't do it without feeling guilt. Huge amounts of guilt. I feel like I need to do something with my life.
Oh, really? So you can't just sit there and like get lost in a game anymore, no?
No. Too much pressure in my head. Now that I've got children. Maybe when my kids are a bit older and they get into it, I'll get back onto it, because I know my brother, he's got 2 kids older than mine.
Yeah.
And he's got back into it seriously.
Yeah.
So maybe there's still a chance.
You think, will you, because I've got a 6-year-old son as well, and I'm always like, I'll start him off on like SNES or maybe Game Boy, and then we'll kind of progress up the consoles. Like I always want to start off on the real old, because that's what I love, the older ones. But maybe they'll just be like, oh, this is rubbish. The graphics are terrible. It doesn't look real.
Well, I tried that with my daughter, and she just wants to watch YouTube.
Oh. It's not happening then.
Yeah.
No. You played a lot of really good villains, like in Triple Threat and Ip Man. They're really great baddies. Is it more fun playing a baddie or a goodie, or you just like to change it up and do a bit of both?
It's more fun playing the baddie. Yeah. The only time it's not fun is when you've got to let Donnie Yen just decapitate you with Wing Chun punches. But up
it's
until
a pretty
that point,
intense fight.
Fun.
Yeah, it does. I do feel like when you're doing villains, you can let loose a lot more. I think it's a lot more, you kind of revel in it, I guess, more than if you're a bit more reserved.
Revel in it, yes. Chew the scenery. Go big. I like to go big. I need to be restrained sometimes, but I'm a big fan of Gary Oldman, so what can I tell you? I like to go big.
Well, no, I could definitely you definitely channel him. Like I watched Universal Soldier, the one that you were in. It's oh god, what's the full title of it? I've got it written down here. Day of Reckoning. That's it.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. I've never seen like a sequel to a blockbuster so bold as that film. I mean, it just messes with your head. That film, like, it was amazing. And like you're saying about Chewie, like the range of emotions your character goes through in that. I mean, you play basically, well, you play a goodie and a baddie, and even more in that film. Like, that must have been quite an intense experience to film that film.
Yes, yeah. Great part to play, lots to figure out, and choices to be made in terms of how you're going to play the part, because of course it's one of those movies where the second viewing is almost better than the first, because by the time you've got to the end, you've realized, oh right, that's what's going on. So then when you watch it the second time and you see it through a different lens, so playing a guy who's come out of a coma and is learning to walk again, then you watch it again, you realize, oh no, he's a newly born clone, and the only reason he's stumbling on his feet is because he's never walked before. He's fresh out of the box, and all those little things. And then to be the hero, the protagonist, and then by the end of the movie, you realize that actually I'm the shill from the government that's been sent to take out Luke Deborah, and I'm really the villain. Lots of different layers. Very intelligent director, John Hyams. Very proud of that film, and it was a great part to play. Yeah, and I get to kill Dolph Lundgren and I kill Van Damme. So
well, I mean, that must have been like a dream come true. Yeah, those fights, because I was a bit like, as the film's going on and on and on, and that film, like I say, it's such a head, it messes with your head, and I was a little bit like, okay, maybe he won't fight them. Like, maybe it's going to go like, oh, he's not even going to fight them. And then when you get those two battles, they're brilliant fights as well. Like, that must have been a pretty dream, like a dream come true, battling those two.
Yeah, when I had my machete sticking out the top of Dolph's head, I thought to myself, yeah, I'm living the dream, man.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, no, is it a bit? But I mean, like saying that, because you fought Tony Jaa, Jason Statham, like Donnie Yen. Like, who was the most fun in the choreography? Like, who was the most fun to battle?
Fun. There's nothing fun about it.
No, not fun. They're not fun.
They're not fun. When you do it at the pinnacle, at the highest level of it, it's not fun. It shouldn't be fun. I mean, you can enjoy it because you've got a sickness in your mind, and you just enjoy pain. But the truth is, it's difficult work. I wouldn't say that I enjoy it. I enjoy the end product, but I always put a lot of pressure on myself as well. I need to stop and enjoy it a bit more sometimes, but with these shrinking schedules and everything, and you want to keep the same quality of fighting that people expect from you, it gets harder to do it as well. So yeah, it's not fun blocking a kick from Tony Jaa, or just taking one in the chest, or having Donnie Yen smash me on the back of the head repeatedly. But we do it for the fans, the adoration.
So when you watch it afterwards, can you sit back and be like, yeah, okay, yeah, that looks like that. Yeah.
No, that's what I mean.
Good.
Even immediately after, when you've done 10 takes, and finally you watch the monitor and you've got it, and it's like, oh yes, and that's a good feeling right there. Yeah. And it's okay. Let's go back to trying to get the next bit then.
Is there talking about computer games, and obviously Van Damme was Guile. I was thinking, if they redid Street Fighter, I think you could do a really good Guile. I think I could. Would you? Yeah. Is there any computer game characters you reckon you could take on, like?
Computer game? Well, yeah, Guile, I suppose. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to have a word with someone about the hair, because that's.
Ken would be worse.
Is that even achievable?
Well, yeah, Van Damme didn't do it in Street Fighter. He didn't have the hair properly, so yeah, you'd have to go for it. Yeah,
all down. Now, me with my bold choices as an actor, I'll go the whole hog. I'll try and make it even higher.
Yeah, I can imagine. They could do it with computer. Maybe it'd be like some kind of special effect in the end.
No, man. We're going to do it all with hairspray. Going to see it wobbling in the wind.
Might get an Oscar for hairstyling though if you achieve that.
If they achieve that, then they should, yeah.
With the like Max Cloud's kind of, you've done a kind of whole host of films. You've done like really big blockbuster stuff, and then smaller stuff, and obviously stuff like non-English language stuff. And is it like when it's a smaller production, is it more? Do you feel like you've got more control, definitely, or is it like, is there something like with the bigger productions? Is there like something that like with that you really like, or what's kind of, where would you prefer to be making?
Obviously, I'd like to do the bigger productions, but the truth of it is, if I'm being honest, always come away from those experiences feeling like they didn't really give me a chance to show what I can really do. You know, I'm always some sort of side character that's killed off or whatever. And you know, when it's a lead and I'm starring, yes, I don't have the money that they have or the schedule, the time, but you know, I'm able to do things in 20 days, which some of these people couldn't even do in 100.
Yeah.
I mean, physically, you know, we know that I can do that. And as an actor in these low budget movies, you've got one take, two takes, you've got to move on. There's no time to finesse it. You've got to be ready to perform there and then. With all the airplanes flying overhead and all the other stuff that's going on, hustle and bustle, out of focus. You've got to be ready to perform straight away. So I'm forgetting what the original question was. I guess I'm just moaning about please, why doesn't somebody give me some money? Yeah.
I think, but I mean, like Max Cloud, like, I mean, it's not like it's lower budget, but I think it looks like the effects look really good. The sets look really good. They've got that great kind of vibrant quality to them, like the colors and everything. It must have felt like
Martin and the producers are smart, where you know when you know how much money you've got and you find a project that can work around that, and you build the set according to that. And obviously with this, it's a computer game, so the set doesn't need to look like Blade Runner or Star Wars. No. It needs to look like a computer game. So it worked. And you know, that when you can be you know, find those projects where you can work around what you've got are the best experiences, really. That's what you should be trying to do. And that's what I do with a lot of the films that I've, you know, Avengement, for instance, I was able to be part of the writing team for that. And we knew that we didn't have a lot of money, so we wrote the whole thing to be set around this conversation in a pub. You know, we knew what we had, and we wrote the film to that. And that's what you have to do.
There's more experimentation and more like more of a chance for you to like improvise, or for you to like come up with something more interesting in the smaller stuff.
Don't be more ambitious than the funds you've got, and you know, all the rest of it. Sometimes people, especially with action films, you know, you want to be the big action movie with all the explosions and all the bullets and all the rest of it. Sometimes that's just not possible with what you've got, and you need to find a more unique and interesting way to do it.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, like I say, the stuff I've seen, like your stuff, I think that's definitely, you've chose some amazing roles and you've got that there. You get your own, like, I was quite jealous of you because you get your own little computer character where you get, when you see the game, there's a version of you, like a little pixelated version. Did you get were you able to like go, oh, can you give me bigger muscles, or can you make me like look a bit like, did you get to input on that character?
I didn't see any of that stuff until the film was done. I've only seen it within the movie. Yeah, I would like to
it looks good.
I'd like to play with myself for a bit. But, you know,
I was hoping you'd be there. Yeah.
The only thing that I did get to see, of course, was the poster, which I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I should have asked for that. No, but that's not good, is it? That's my wife's not going to let me put that up in the lounge.
It's gonna make. I mean, there'd be people who'd get it, but there'd be people who'd think, "Wow, that guy's look at his big poster of himself."
I haven't got any. Thinking about it, I haven't got any room for that in between all the other posters of me. So.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, you just add it to the collection.
Yeah.
are you a fan of science fiction films, or like, is it like a genre you're less into? Do you like a big sci-fi fan, or?
Not a big sci-fi fan. I do appreciate the genre though, yeah. The more serious sides of it, I think, like the Blade Runners and aliens and things like that. Intelligent sci-fi is always good, you know. Interstellar, and when they really put some brain matter into it. Contact, what a great film that is. You know, the more realistic side of sci-fi I find even more interesting.
Okay, yeah, because the podcast that we do is me and my friends, and it's basically rating science fiction films in a huge list. So what would be like your top 3 films? Would it be like, Blade Runner, Alien? What else would be in there?
I would probably just say Star Wars. Probably just say
really
that, because the first 3 were phenomenal, weren't they? That was really the inspiration behind Alien and Blade Runner, in terms of a future that's dirtied up and everything was clean and pristine before that. And I feel like that's where George Lucas, listen to me critique of George Lucas, like I know
why
more
not
than him. But I think that's part of where the charm was lost on those George Lucas movies. Everything was too clean, and that was what was so amazing about Star Wars, wasn't it? The dirty look. And they've brought it back with Mandalorian now. I mean, I'm loving the Mandalorian show, because it's got the vibe of the original trilogy.
100%.
And it's dirty. And it's a Japanese samurai western. And that's the best sci-fi show I've ever seen.
Yes, no, I 100% agree with you. I think Mandalorian's kind of brought it back to what made it good in the first place. It's also very like, you feel like that's a real world, that like you could just step into it, like those places really exist, like, you know. And also like the levels of action in Mandalorian, they pack a heck of a lot in 20 minutes. They kind of you know, you get some great battles and stuff. I guess, the only other thing I was going to, Max Cloud's in the film, his little secret hobby is that he's a baker. Is there like a secret hobby that you, like a secret passion that you've got that people might not expect?
I like to eat cakes. I'm no good at making them.
No, that wasn't cut from reality then, that scene.
No. I'm a terrible baker. Terrible. What do I like? I mean, I don't know. Nothing. Martial arts and movies. That's me. Yeah. I'm a cliched character myself.
I see you on, because I watched the Iron Fists and Kung Fu Kicks documentary as well recently, and you're on that. That was a really good documentary. I thought it was very interesting how they linked things in so directly, like with parkour and with the like breakdancing and stuff like that. And it's like the bit that you're in is mainly talking about Cynthia Rothrock, isn't it? That's kind of like it was a kind of, isn't it, that, or was it a long time ago? Yeah, I think it was the bit I think I remember seeing is where you were talking about her and getting her signature, and that was a great inspiration to you back in the day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm just a fanboy geek at the end of the day. Luckily, I've managed to get into it and become one of them. But really, I'm just a fanboy.
It was all just a ruse, was it? It's just a chance to get behind the curtain.
I became an action star so that I could become more of a fanboy.
Is there anyone, fanboy wise, is there anyone you'd really like to fight or really like to star in a film with?
I've fought them all now. I've done all the best. All the best. Yeah. Apart from Bruce Lee, which of course will never happen. So, I mean, there's actors that I admire. Which I'd love to work with. But in terms of the action guys, martial arts guys, I pretty much work with them all.
Yeah. I guess people are going to be coming for you now. There's people out there like who are going to be like, right, he's the one I need to fight. You're going to be the one people are aiming to fight now, I guess.
Yeah, they're going to be lining up to let me kick the shit out of them.
And then they'll be getting interviewed saying, and people will be saying, like, people like me will be saying, was that fun when you were fighting Scott? And they'll just be like, no, it wasn't fun at all.
No, man, he's a psychopath. He's got issues, man.
I guess my kind of last question is, what's kind of next for you? Like Max Cloud's coming out, I think, in February, January, February. What have you got? Any other projects lined up or anything? What's the next thing to do?
There's a film I made with Dolph Lundgren, which we managed to finish. It was shut down when the whole pandemic kicked off, but we managed to get back out to Birmingham, Alabama, and do that October, November. So just finished that. And then I've got a bit of a break, and I think the next project is in March.
Oh, okay. And is there anything, because you produced Max Cloud, didn't you? Are you getting more involved with producing? Oh, you didn't produce it.
I didn't produce Max Cloud, no. The whole producing thing is not so much that I know how to produce films, because I don't. A lot of it is talking to banks and all the rest of that stuff, which I've got no clue about. I don't want to know, but it's stressful. But what I like to do is try and shepherd ideas or scripts that I found, mostly ideas, and have them written, and try and create interesting projects for myself, so that I'm not at the mercy of what's going to be offered to me, and is it any good? Maybe it's not that good, but I do it for the money. You know, that's the situation I don't want to be in.
Yeah. So kind of the more control you can have as like script wise and stuff like that, is that it's obviously better for you, because like you say, you get to make more decisions on the characters.
That's why I like to work with a lot of directors again and again, because you get that shorthand, and if they trust me, and the majority of them, you know, we come out of a movie with much more trust. So you go into the second film, and I can be heard more in terms of, well, I think it should be done like this, and let's have that conversation, and I can be more involved creatively. And that's why I work with Jesse Johnson so frequently, because we have a very collaborative relationship.
And I guess, like you say, it's better for you, because then you don't need to spend, like you say, the shorthand is there, and if you want to kind of do something a bit different or have some idea, they're willing to go with it, whereas someone else might not, or especially a bigger budget film, they wouldn't really entertain that so much, I guess.
Bigger budget film, no, you can't. You have to know your place. You don't want to be, telling people to do something when you're just, number 10 on the call sheet. You're just an arsehole. Don't work with that arsehole again. He needs to keep his mouth shut. But if it's a film that I'm the lead of, and the financing has come in because I'm on the poster in the number one position, I demand to be heard. A lot of the time. Depends. By Max Cloud, I just turned up, and it was all from Martin's head. So I didn't really have much to say. I wanted it already come out of him. And if you've got a writer, director, and they've written something that you're interested in anyway, it's best to just fall into what they're doing. But when it came to the action, I wanted to be heard about that, because I was aware that I had much more experience than he did. But then we had Andy, so I let Andy take care of it. Yeah. No,
I think it's a really good balance. As the films go, it's a really good balance of a bit of everything. There's like a kind of teen drama in there. There's like there's all the sci-fi stuff. There's the comedy and the parody. But I think it definitely delivered on the action. I think it was the right decision, especially because there are people who are going to see your name, and they know what they want from the film. And I think that's good.
Well, it's the blessing and the curse, isn't it? But my motto has always been, look for the best script, try and do your absolute best performance. But if all else fails, that if it's a Scott Adkins movie, talking about himself in third person again, but if it's a Scott Adkins movie, the action's going to be good. And that's the way I've always wanted to do it. And that stays with me now. And some producers get frustrated at me, and it's not all about the action, Scott. So, well, actually, that's what's got me to this point. So I'm going to keep that consistent. And hopefully it isn't all about the action. I want everything to be good, but I'm always going to keep that at a high level.
Yeah, well, no, you definitely, all the stuff I've seen of yours has delivered that tenfold. And like you say, while you're experimenting and doing different scripts, people are getting used to seeing you in different roles. So then they're more open for you to be doing different things. So you're the audience is coming with you. You're not tricking them. You're giving them what they want, but they're coming with you into these new, more interesting, like say, they've been some, like the characters you played have been interesting characters, like the Universal Soldier one being like right up there. And then but even smaller ones, I think, have been like nuanced. So I think it's like, you're picking a good script. You've got a good eye for it, obviously.
Yeah, pick the best of what's available at the time.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking to me, and I hope you get home or wherever it is you're driving to. I hope it's not too much of a long journey left over.
I'm almost home. I just had to pull over while there was still 5G.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and I hope you get that Max Cloud poster someday. Put it up in your house, and
Right. Yes, the daylight is completely gone, so I better go.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, Alex. Thanks, mate.
Bye.
I'll see you.
Bye.